Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this video. This is video is in regards to the TNT Academy graduation ceremony that went viral for obvious reasons. And I'm making this video to sort of help clear up the racial speculations as an attendee, just sort of giving an eyewitness perspective on what actually took place on that day. I was there to see my brother graduate, and actually in one of the videos, that's actually my voice in one of the videos that you can hear trying to diffuse a lot of the tension that was in my section, was really throughout the auditorium, but just in my immediate section, a lot of the parents and family members were obviously disturbed, rightfully so, based on a lot of the events that took place. But I wanted to just take this opportunity to sort of mention what was going on prior to what was seen on the video. I haven't seen anyone else come out with a video as of yet, and so I'm going to go ahead and take the liberty for right now. I'll be as non-biased and forthcoming as I can. I want to first start by saying the video was not based on black versus white. Everyone that was there to see their child graduate. It was a peaceful gathering. Everyone was cooperating. There was no rude, loud, belligerent outbursts from anyone, young, old, regardless of ethnic group, race, etc. So I like to first mention that race was not an issue until she made it one. And I'm going to touch on that shortly. Went ahead and wrote down some points real quick so I don't lose my place and get sidetracked or leave anything out. But I'm going to try to make this video real quick. This is my first time ever doing this, and normally I just kind of sit back and watch. But I just felt like, for those who actually care and would like to really know what happened, here's the opportunity for me to at least try to explain it. Give me just a moment. As I mentioned, we was in attendance to watch the graduation take place. The first thing, or the first red flag that took place, was when she made a reference to some of the babies that were crying prior to the ceremony going underway. She sort of interrupted the ceremony before it proceeded so that she can make a statement to the audience members that, if you have a crying baby or crying child, please take them outside, which is no problem, which was actually understood by everyone in the auditorium. There were a few babies that were crying. It was somewhat disruptive, and the people were actually taking them out. But she just kind of, I guess, wanted to emphasize that. Okay, so that was fine. However, the final statement to her comment, she said, was kind of disturbing to everyone in the audience when she said they really shouldn't be here anyway. She said it with a very stern and almost irate tone, which sort of set the mood for the rest of the day. Everyone in attendance was kind of looking around side-eyed at each other, kind of like, okay. However, we went ahead and moved forward. No big deal. No harm, no foul. The next thing was when she began to when they got to the part of the program where they began to hand out the diplomas. It was a small graduating class, around about 50 graduating seniors or so. So I guess she felt like they had enough time to do a 30-minute bio, brief description of how she knew the students and their performances, etc., which was fine, no problem. But the only issue was that she started getting a little personal with some of the kids and some of their personal struggles that they may have had, regards to what they may have gone through in the public school systems, dropouts, or kids, how many times they had to repeat certain grades and so forth. So the parents of those kids were obviously kind of in shock as well as everyone else in the auditorium, because you're thinking to yourself, okay, so what is she about to say about my child? So you started feeling the tension building up at this point, which kind of, at that point is when I realized, okay, there's obviously something wrong where this lady is possibly maybe not all there, you know what I mean, to say that she's the founder, but I mean, just to be honest, lack the professional etiquette to handle certain situations and so forth. I mean, that's just something you don't do, especially to hold a position that you do. By this point, black, white, Asian, Hispanic alike, we were all in the same state of mind where we're just kind of like wondering, okay, what's next? Because, she's, this is the second strike, if you will, that she's kind of done things in a sort of an unorthodox manner. Just to kind of move things along, once they finally got done with the diploma, she instructed the young adults, the graduating seniors, to move their tassels from the left to the right. At that point, she dismissed the ceremony. The students walked out. The attendees, we followed right after. A few seconds later, she realized that the valedictorian had not given his graduation speech. So she asked everyone, could they please return, which understandably, everyone came back out of respect because it's a big moment and you want to give the young man his just due. So everyone politely returned back to their seats. Of course, you have an entire auditorium that's 50 to 75% out the door, returning back to their seats. So there was a little time to get everything situated and settled. During that time period, which lasted, let's say, about 2 or 3 minutes at the most, which was not bad considering the ceremony was completely dismissed. There were several people taking pictures of their kids who were still up on the stage. And I guess as things began to really wind down, there was one particular gentleman, I guess as we know as the goober, who walked across the stage holding his tablet. And I guess he was recording, the ceremony or whatever. I don't know. He did walk from one side of the stage to not the stage, but on the actual aisle, from one side to the other. At that point is when she jumped back up, went to the podium again, moved the valedictorian out the way, and commenced to yelling at the man. This is a grown man. This isn't a kid or isn't a child. This is a grown man. Things were slowly winding down at that point. However, her remarks, her comments were not warranted, at least not to that extent. She said, "Sir, please sit down." And it went from, as he was walking, she began to shout at him. As she began to shout at him, everybody in the audience was looking around and saying, okay, here we go. The guy actually sat down. However, he wasn't in his seat, so he got back up and walked back on across with his tablet, recording again until he got to his seat. I guess that's where the straw broke the camel's back, what have you. She pretty much hit the roof at that point. She began yelling, screaming, calling for security, calling for the police. The rest of the people in the crowd, in the audience, everyone in the auditorium was really thinking to themselves, it's not that serious. You already dismissed us. Let's get out of here. Let the guy do his speech. We made it through this process by the skin of our teeth, and we don't want things to get ugly. Once the police finally came, after I guess the 4th time of her screaming for the police to come down, once she saw the police coming down the aisle, that's when I guess you could say the rest speaks for itself. You saw the video from that point moving forward. And you will notice on one of the videos that there was a gentleman, a white gentleman, by the way, who obviously was disturbed by her antics, who went and got his child, who was one of the graduating seniors, and had some words with her, walked right up to the podium and said, "Don't tell my child to sit down." And you would notice in the section that I was sitting in, where the young lady was recording, they began to applaud. A few people actually began to applaud him. for making that stand. They were the first ones to begin walking out. By this point, again, as I mentioned, she was irate and belligerent at that point. Like I said, it had nothing to do with black, white, or anything. She was just worked up for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know the lady before that. I've never seen her before that. I don't know if that's how she normally acts or what have you. But anyway, once they walked out, a lot of other people felt it was a very uncomfortable setting at that point. So there were several people walking out, black, white, Hispanic. It did not matter. She made it a race when she began to say, and look who's walking out, all the black people. Again, I say, white people were walking out, black people, some black people were walking out, some white people were still sitting, some black people were still sitting. So, where that came from, I mean, I've read the comments, I've read the blogs, I get it. Naturally, from what you see, I mean, whatever she had internally building up, it finally came out. As many of you have expressed what you already have building up. But I just want to say, number one, congratulations to all the graduating seniors, to my brother. Salute to you, brother. Keep it going. Best of luck. I want to give a shout out to the young lady, Emily Vance. I remember your name. You did a very good job with the song that you performed. And I want to take this time and opportunity to congratulate you on that. And, you know, let's just work on building better race relations. I mean, a lot of the racism was it was unnecessary. Okay. I saw a couple of videos where several people mentioned, okay, yeah, those black people, I've been to black graduations, and yeah, they act like they're at sporting events, football games, etc. They can get irate, and it was none of that. I mean, everything was solely on her. As I even mentioned in the video clip, where you can hear me saying, do not argue with her, let's just get through this, because, and I even mentioned, like, I don't want to see what's coming next, because over about an hour and a half, that's where it was leading to. And before I could get out of there, she dropped the bomb. So anyway, people, let's do better. I mean, we got enough going on in the country due to race relations as it is. I don't want to see nobody have to go through any type of unnecessary scrutiny over something as simple as race. I know it's there, but I mean, we better than that as a human race, you know. So anyway, I'm not no preacher, so I'm not about to get into no deep sermon. But the most important thing was it was about the kids. Unfortunately, they had to endure disaster on one of what should actually be one of the most important days of their life, one of the most memorable events, if not one of the first memorable events. That's a huge accomplishment, and I feel like that was taken from them over something very, very unnecessary. So I'm going to say peace, love, blessings to everybody. Those who watch this video, I hope I was able to shed a little light that was leading up. Didn't mean to take as much time, but anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Those who got any comments, leave it in the box, and y'all take care. Later.